what's up you guys? Putting a trailer hitch on your Hyundai Santa Fe can take you to some pretty cool places like camping or trail bike riding. Can even tow a U-Haul trailer to just about anywhere in North America. Come on, let's go ahead and break this hitch down and get you guys outdoors.
You will need the tools seen here to complete this installation.
Okay, so our hitch is going to attach to the frame of the vehicle on the driver's side and passenger side. You can see that it's well covered by the exhaust here, so we'll have to lower that. We're also going to lower the passenger side underbody paneling as well as the driver's side underbody paneling. We'll go ahead and start with that on the driver's side here. Looks like there's just going to be a few body fasteners here that take a Phillips screwdriver or drill to remove. Okay, now that we have our fasteners removed, we're just going to go ahead and pull straight down on the body panel. It just comes right out. We'll set that aside for possible reinstall later. Go ahead and do the same thing on the passenger side. Again, once we get the fasteners down, we're just going to pull straight down. Like that. We'll set that aside. Okay, next step is going to be lowering the spare tire as well. And to do that, there is a crank on the inside of the vehicle, and they also have one on the outside of the vehicle right here. And that will take an 11mm socket. We're going to go ahead and lower that now. Okay, so in lowering the spare tire, using the jack below, it is reverse thread, so tightening will lower the spare tire and loosening will raise it back up. Okay, got that down far enough that we can take it out of its position here. See what's holding it is this little clamp here. Once you relieve pressure off of the clamp, you can turn it sideways. It'll go right through the hole. Let's see the spare tire side. Okay, next step is going to be lowering the exhaust. To lower the exhaust, we have 3 rubber hangers. One on the passenger side, one towards the middle here, and then there is a third one towards the rear axle here. I'll go ahead and start with spraying the hangers with some soapy water here just to help them come out easier. And I'll be using some exhaust pliers. If you don't have exhaust pliers, you can just use your hands and pull right out, or take a pry bar and just pry it out. Spray this around here. Okay, before I lower the third hanger, I'm going to go ahead and support the exhaust so once that comes down it doesn't damage any parts on the exhaust or hurt anybody when it falls. I'm using just a regular strap. You can use a clothes hanger or rope, anything that will support it. Okay, perfect. Okay, so we do have some bumper posts here coming out that's going to get in the way of our attachment holes here. So we do need to cut this out, and we need to do that on both sides. If you pan over to the passenger side here, see that it is on both sides. It does get in the way of our attachment hole here, so we're just going to take a grinder and just cut that off there. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and take a grinder and cut these bumper posts off. They're not necessary on the vehicle, they're just used for manufacturing process, so it's okay to trim them down. If you don't have a grinder, you can use a hacksaw. Pretty cheap at the auto parts store. Okay, we'll go ahead and do the passenger side. And you get that nice burning hair smell from the hot metal parts hitting your beard. Okay, now we'll go ahead and clean out the weld nuts and then put the hitch up. Okay, we're just about ready to get the hitch up into place. Our last step is going to clean out the weld nuts in the frame where the hitch is going to be attached to on the bottom portion here. I'll go ahead and go up a little bit and show you where the other two attachment points on the frame are as well. To clean these weld nuts out, I'm just going to use a battery post cleaner. These things are $1 at any auto parts store. You just push it up into the threads and spin, and the wire brush will start cleaning it out. And if you live in a high corrosion area and you find that a wire brush isn't doing the trick for you, you can get a thread cleaning kit and run it up and out, or you can make your own by cutting a couple of notches at the very top of your thread here. Just some clean cuts, and then you just run it up and then back out. That'll clean out your thread for you. Okay, we'll go ahead and do the passenger side. Okay, for this hitch installation, I'm going to be using U-Haul's exclusive hitch jack. If you don't have a hitch jack, you'll need to get an extra pair of hands from a neighbor or a friend or family member. I'm going to take the provided hardware. I'll start with the top bolts in the top of the frame. These are 1/2-inch carriage bolts. They'll seat right into the square portion of the hitch. Guys in, we'll go ahead and put the nuts on here. Just finger tight for now. And for our provided 10mm bolts that go into the weld nuts that we cleaned. want to point out that the hardware that's provided, they have conical washers that have teeth on them. The teeth will make contact with the hitch, so facing up. I'll go over to the passenger side. The hitch manufacturer gives us a bracket here to put on the outside of the frame. That'll allow the bolt to go in, the outside of the frame, lock in, and then we can put our nuts on the inside of the frame. Go ahead. Spin the bolt around until it seats in. If that's unseated, that's seated. So we gotta seat this guy as well. Just like that. Okay, we got a little snug. We'll go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and take, before I start using my torque wrench, I'm gonna go ahead and snug the bolts down a little bit. Be using a 17mm socket on the bottom bolts here. And on the side bolts, we'll be using a 3/4 inch socket. Do the same thing on the passenger side. I'm just using a socket, 17mm socket, just to get a little bit more leverage on my turns here. Make sure that they're threaded. Okay, so now we got our torque wrench. We'll be using a 3/4 socket to get the upper bolts here. And they are calling out that your torque wrench be set to 110 foot-pounds on those bolts. And we're just gonna crank them down until the indicator on your torque wrench tells you to stop, which could be a beep or a pop or snap sound. Ours will be making a pop. Just like that. Next one. Okay, now we'll go over to the passenger side and get those. Okay. Okay, now we'll go ahead and get the bottom bolts with our 17mm socket, and the hitch manufacturer is calling out that these be set at 48 foot-pounds. Okay, last two on the driver's side. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and switch over with and add a 5-inch extension. Help me drop below the hitch so I can get better turns on this. Okay, it looks like we may need a swivel for this most rear bolt. I can't get straight up and down on that bolt head. Okay, so on this most rear bolt on the driver's side, we weren't able to get a straight socket up above this cross tube, the hitch cross tube here, to torque down this very last bolt. So what I did is got a handy little swivel socket here. You can see it rocks back and forth to get you into some pretty tight spaces to tighten down your bolts. Okay, and now that's the hitch installed. Our last steps are going to be raising the exhaust, and we'll see what it takes to get our panels back up into place here. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and raise the exhaust back into position. I'll start with the most forward hanger here. Just going to spray it again so it slides on nice and easy. Go ahead and take our strap off while we're here. Okay, then we'll get the most rear two hanger brackets. More. Okay, and that's our exhaust back into place. Now we can put our underbody paneling back in. I'll start with the driver's side here. Okay, now over to our passenger side. Okay, and the last step is going to be putting the spare tire back into place. Okay, so I'm going to angle the spare tire up like this so that as I raise it up, it'll go right up above the cross tube here. And again, loosening this, it is reverse thread, so loosening it will raise it up and tightening it will lower it. Okay, and that's our hitch install for the Santa Fe. You can see it's a nice stylish round tube design. Fits really nice right underneath the bumper here. It has a 2-inch square tube receiver. We also have 2 large safety chain loops here for when you're towing a trailer. That's where you will attach your safety chains to. And you also have a 5/8 pin and clip hole. That's to secure your anything that you put in here, a bike rack, a ball mount, cargo carrier. And that's it for our Hitch video. Thank you for watching. Have fun, be safe.
To learn more about the products seen in this video, or to schedule an installation by a U-Haul Hitch professional, visit us online today at uhaulhitches.com.